This week, I'm going to be performing my first ever comedy/poetry show at one of the biggest venues in London, the Roundhouse. I'm also going to be working my normal 9 to 5 as a social media content creator for an amazing company called Creative Lives in Progress, and trying to post content consistently on my own channels and vlogging it. We'd love to see it. I want to show you guys what the reality is of trying to balance all these different things and also making sure that I'm still alive and looking after myself and not burning out. So let's get this week started. It's breakfast time. So this is my fairly sort of typical breakfast, I'd say, especially because it's great. As I was saying, this is my fairly sort of typical breakfast, I feel like, in the colder months. And look, she may not be gram level aesthetic, but she is aesthetic enough for me. She makes my tummy happy. That's all that matters. So it is currently Monday. It's like 11 a.m. and I've had sort of all my morning meetings. This week is going to be quite compressed because my show is on Wednesday, which means I only have Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday to get all the work that I need to get done this week. In my job, basically, I'm in charge of managing the social calendar, creating the content, all the kind of stuff that you would normally expect. But we also have an event at the office on Thursday, which means I'm not gonna have a whole lot of time this week. But giving myself time to breathe, having a nice breakfast, having a little chill before I get back into the rest of the work that I have to do this morning is one of the ways that I make sure I don't combust. We're what, 5 minutes into this vlog? I'm already stressed out. It's lunchtime and I've gotten a fair bit of work done, but I still have so much to do. I feel the stress headache coming on. But whenever I feel this way, I know it is an indication that I just need to get whatever is in my brain out. So let me actually show you how I'm gonna do that right now. Welcome to my desk. First things first, I have my Notion where I put all of my weekly to-dos and just sort of brain dump everything into here. And the way that I have my brain dump set up is I actually use the Eisenhower matrix for this, which, if you don't know, is categorizing tasks based on their urgency and importance. So let's write everything down. And when I'm brain dumping, I also like to consider the deadlines that are attached to each of those pieces of work. And I say this from experience, it's so easy to get into this mindset of everything is equally important. Everything needs to be done now. When actually you might have a bit more flexibility to move stuff. And now that everything is out of my brain, I feel so much lighter. So work is officially over and I feel like I need this mug today. I feel like I very much underestimated the effort that would go into vlogging, because I feel like I haven't vlogged in ages and I was like, oh yeah, I can balance everything, I can do it fine. But I'm kind of glad that the facade has immediately fallen away within the first few minutes of this. Also, if you're curious about what tea I'm having, I highly recommend this brand. Not that I feel like I am putting up a facade when I create content, but when you're vlogging or you're creating content, obviously you just want it to be as nice as possible for the viewer. And I want you, whoever you are watching this, to have a good experience and be like, oh, I feel empowered that I too could one day do these things, or I too have the capacity within me to be able to handle this. But as my lovely mum says, everything happens for a reason, and you know what, maybe the reason is so that I can be even more vulnerable throughout this vlog. And so, very openly, I have a very packed schedule this evening. I am gonna try and put out a YouTube video. I worked very hard on the weekend to edit it. I think it's gonna be a fire one, if I say so myself. It's tier ranking Demon Slayer characters based on how gay I think they are. And then I'm actually on a little Zoom call later this evening because I took part in the Young Critics program, an amazing program. If you don't know what it is, I'll leave a link below. And as part of the program, I had to make a video review of a poetry collection. And so they've asked me to actually hop on a call and chat to people who are on the program about video content and how I do that. My main thing will just be hey, just film yourself, just do it. But no, I will be more articulate. Yum. Do you want to be in the video?
No. Bloopers.
You say this every... I just spent like the last 10 minutes just watching my YouTube analytics of the video I just put out. Today, absolutely nothing has gone according to plan, and I think sometimes it's hard to not let that get to you. And it's also very hard when you're a YouTuber and a small one to know if anyone actually cares about what you're making, if you're actually relevant, if there's any point. I don't know. I feel like me sitting in a dark room looking at my laptop has probably not helped all these thoughts, but there's still time in the evening. I am going to look after myself because that is the most important thing that I need to do for myself right now, and also to make sure that I can just be a functional human being. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about, and that is what I am. Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. Welcome to my professional rehearsal space where I rehearse for all my very professional shows. You probably actually will see a professional rehearsal space later in the week, so stay tuned. But yeah, man, I think just goes to show that like half an hour of rest really does your body good. So I'm going to run through my script in my professional rehearsal space. Also, I don't practice, like, inside my closet. Firstly, that would be incredibly ironic. Secondly, I actually practice, like, standing in front of the mirror so that I can see how I talk, and also see how much I have memorized. Spoiler alert, I've not memorized very much yet, but that's why we practice. And if you want tips on how to practice, or if you're looking for poetry performance tips, all that kind of stuff, I do actually have a full breakdown and video of that, which I'll link below. Thanks for coming along on this incredibly chaotic day with me, and I will see you tomorrow for a day at the office that is hopefully slightly less chaotic. Bye. So I've got a few minutes left on my lunch break, and I've come to this spot which feels very serendipitous because this is actually where I came and sat. This is just ruining my sentimental moment, but ignore it. This is actually where I came and sat after I had my... So this is actually where I came and sat after I had my final interview for the job I have right now. I'm also very proud of myself that I can actually have the confidence to film in public despite all this noise. Here we are. It feels very nice to be back here. Finally, I'm home. I feel like there's a theme emerging throughout the week and throughout this vlog already, which is I've just been trying to find like little pockets to try and rest between all this stuff. So like I took a nap on the tube home, taking that little half an hour for myself yesterday, but also really setting those boundaries. Like as soon as the clock hit 5 at work, I was like, I'm out of here. Normally I would leave at 4:30 if I start at 8, but I had a few bits to do obviously because I'm not going to be in tomorrow. And when you're a social media manager, I feel like it's also important to make sure that like you know what's going on. All the stuff is scheduled, it's in the calendar. And even now I'm so tired, I'm so sleepy, but I need to work a little bit more on my PowerPoint for my show tomorrow. Because I'm basically sort of doing like a Sam Campbell style thing where I use a PowerPoint as my guide or prompt for a couple of my jokes, and I need to get that sent over to the Roundhouse tonight. As much as I would love to eat some cereal and take a nap, does anyone else really crave cereal when they get home from work? Please tell me if it's just me. I watch The Office, curl up with my kit and just get on with it because that's what we have to do. Thing I will say about my title is that, look, I don't actually really like hangers. I was rehearsing for tomorrow and I started to feel nervous, right? And I forgot the ultimate life hack. If you're feeling nervous, just put on anime music. I'll put on this tune from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Firstly, forgot how much of a tune it was. Secondly, my anxiety has evaporated. Also, yes, that is Fullmetal Alchemist in the background. Don't look at the rest of these books. And I'll see you tomorrow for the show. Show day! Okay, I'm just about to head out, but I thought I'd show you guys what I'm taking with me. Ignore the mess on the table. I'm actually bringing my straightener because I've just washed my hair. Ideally, I would have washed it last night, but I think we all saw how tired I was, so I feel like it did not make sense for me to do that. Then I'm also taking my laptop to practice with my PowerPoint slides, and also because they haven't necessarily confirmed what the tech setup is going to be yet. Then I am taking the top I'm going to be wearing, which, if you're curious, I actually found this in a charity shop. So cute. Also taking my deodorant because look, anxiety sweat is real. Taking my makeup and makeup pouch so that I can do it when everyone else is probably doing like cool theatre makeup. I'm just gonna make myself look presentable. ID cards and stuff because someone might think that a show called Another Mango Diaspora Poetry Show is not being performed by a queer brown person. Then I got another phone wire, my microphones for vlogging. I have green tea in here, some snacks, because you can never have too many snacks on a day like this. Water bottle, and also vitamins because I am not getting ill this week. I am looking after myself. And again, theme of this vlog, this is how I'm doing it. Finally, also some old business cards, and this exercise of showing you guys what was in my bag was actually very helpful because I nearly forgot these, but these are so old that they still say blogger on the back. Because fun fact, a little bit of lore, I started doing content as a way to help me get a job in publishing. Look how that's gone. And finally, breakfast, which is just yogurt and granola because I haven't eaten yet. So let's go, let's head out. Okay, got this. Hopefully I will be let in this time. Just doing my makeup in the bathroom. We had our second rehearsal. I'm feeling a lot better. It's gonna be showtime soon, and I will see you then. Hello, and welcome to the inside of my cupboard, because I have a whole basket of laundry to put away. It is currently Friday after work. Let's catch up on the week. And if you're one of the cool people that has made it to the end of the video club, let me know, and congratulations. This is your reward, the full laydown of what has been going on. So, with the show on, what day was it on? On Wednesday. It went pretty well, I'm gonna say. Considering it was my first time that I did comedy, I think I'm really happy with how it turned out. Because the main thing that got me stressing and sort of sent me into that little bit of spiral when I went to eat lunch was because when I did the tech rehearsal, so that's where you go in and the lovely tech people are setting up all of your lights and you're saying, hey, this is when I would like it to turn orange. No one laughed. Granted, there were only 3 people in the room, but obviously it sent me into a little bit of a spiral because I was like, oh my god, why am I attempting this completely new genre of art that I have never done before at one of the biggest venues in London? But then when we did the dress rehearsal, because all of the other artists were also sort of theatre, so then they were getting into like their very cool costumes and stuff. I think almost everyone laughed. That sort of calmed me down a bit. And then my parents, very sweetly, when I told them that I was freaking out and I needed their support, were also first on the scene to come and meet me, which I am so grateful for my parents every day. I think having their support also made me feel better and a little less lonely, because unfortunately it was like my partner also wasn't there, or like wasn't able to come, and a lot of my friends also weren't able to make it. So then at that point, even if I was nervous, when I was waiting backstage, I was like, you know what, I can do this. And because I was actually first in the lineup, I was like, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna get this done. And because I had done it twice and came in early in the morning also to practice, and obviously, as you've seen, I was practicing the whole week leading up to it and been practicing the week before that, etc. I was like, yeah, let's do this. As my parents also reminded me, like, the main thing is to have fun, which I did. And I think that is probably also what helped my performance go well. And then the rest of the time, it was really nice. I was just chilling backstage, and backstage very coolly, there was like a TV and a speaker. So I was able to watch or kind of rewatch all of the other artists. And it was so sweet, and it was such a supportive atmosphere. Everyone was like taking photos and like cheering each other on. I was also eating Doritos out of a sombrero backstage, which is such a fun thing to have done. But then in the evening, afterwards, everyone went to the pub opposite the road, and I went with my very good and very cool friend Chloe, who is also a poet and is very cool. I will link their profile down below. It obviously got very late, and I didn't sleep till like 1 or 2 a.m. But did I have time to rest? No, because the next morning at the office, we had an event, which was actually very cool. Basically, the company that I work for, Creative Lives in Progress, is like a social enterprise, and we're a resource that's focused on helping emerging creatives access the creative industry. So we're all about ungatekeeping, which is also what I have basically done with my whole content platforms over the years. The event that we had was all about intersectionality and diversity in the creative industry, and oh my god, it was so enlightening. Anytime the panelists were discussing intersectionality or sort of like lack of support in the workplace, I was like, wow, this really accurately describes everything I've been through. And obviously you could be like, wow, that's really sad. But the takeaway that I got from it was that actually those sort of experiences and articulating the mix between personal experiences that people have gone through and also the research and data around this stuff from a university professor who was one of the other panelists actually gave me the language that I needed to articulate all of those experiences I've gone through. The rest of the day though, I was tired as fuck, man. I could barely keep my eyes open all day. And it also didn't help that, like, because of my PCOS, I also do like intermittent fasting, and I did not eat until like 11 a.m, which was the end of the event. So I was running on like 5 hours of sleep, nothing in my system aside from 2 glasses of water, trying to network, and then trying to do a whole day's worth of work. Obviously I did eat after the event ended, but you get the picture. But yeah, this week's been full of so many ups and downs, but hopefully you've seen that along the way, the most important thing that I have factored in this whole time is just trying to be flexible, listening to my body, being like, okay, for example, I was meant to post a piece of content today. I just moved it to tomorrow because I was like, after this week, I just need to rest. And that is an example of something that I have been doing all week. And I hope you've enjoyed seeing the behind the scenes of my Hannah Montana life, I guess, or this triangle life. If you're curious about what my life was like before I got my job though, I actually filmed the week where I interviewed for the role I have now in this vlog here. Or if you want to know how I was balancing my time when I was working in publishing and working at Penguin Random House, you can watch this vlog here. And as always, I hope you're having a lovely day, living your best nerdy and authentic life, and I'll see you over there in the next video, or perhaps at my next show. Hope to see you there. Bye!